Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're watching this. Today is February, no, it's not. It's March 7th.
7th, yes.
March 7th, and we are broadcasting on Friday afternoon. It is starting at 12:30. So I am happy to report that both Tony Betancourt and myself are here at your service. Today, what I like to do is sort of give you an idea of what are we all about. The agenda and opinions are solely by the topics of the town host, our guests, contributors, and commentators. Now, today, I was planning to have two guests, candidates for the Board of Selectmen. However, they have declined because of short notice, and I appreciate that. So what we'll do is we'll extend the invitation a little later on in the calendar year. Now, I have to fix my hair because the wind was so windy today.
My God, wicked wind.
You know what, Ben? We're going to have makeup here because we don't look good enough for television.
That wind is strong. You got to hold your hair the right way. Just
well, some of us have hair.
Exactly.
All right. So what we're going to do is I have a saying that I want to express to the audience, and I've used this in the past, but I think this will be the last time that I'll use it at the show. The saying is by Eleanor Roosevelt, and it says, "Be flexible, but stick to your principles." So this is a message that I think we need to send to everyone that's running for the Board of Selectmen, school committee, and the town meeting members, because what you have to do is you have to understand why you're running, what you're trying to accomplish, and stick to it, because everybody's going to try to redirect you in different ways because they have a better way. That's not true. So, what I want to do today is I will repeat this one more time. I have been accused of being a conspiracy theorist.
I don't think so.
Your people have used that theory on me all the time. But my interest is always for the good of the residents of Danvers. Residents are the engine that makes this town, and taxes are the currency of our government. Now, this is my own saying, so I'm not going to take credit for it, but I believe that this is so true. And we have had, or I have been accused of many conspiracies. One of them is that I want to eliminate DEI. DEI is a concept that was planted on us during the COVID encampment that we lived through. We must dump this process and redirect the funding for that kind of an effort to the police, the fire, or into our government, because our government is a very important part of our unified policies that we represent. HR is another one. HR manager. according to what I have been reported, or that has been reported, is a cause of many of our departure of our vintage employees that have served this town forever.
We lost a lot of them. That's the sad part. We lost a lot of good ones.
That's right.
I don't know if it was Mr. Bartha or the way he did things or whatever, but a lot of people weren't happy and they left. It was terrible.
Well, what I've been told that it is part of the higher management, Bartha and his assistant, and the HR that is in place. So, that's my report, and I stick to it.
I understand.
But what I want to do is I want to explain one role that has been so misused. Our town employees are not at our service. They are hired as employees and they work for the town. It's a career that they're on. It's not public service like everybody claims it is. It is a job. And I think we need to treat it as such. So, that's what I believe, and I'm sticking to it.
And right now we're missing a couple of people, right?
The
place is running. I mean, I don't know if we should be saving money on it. I don't know.
No, we're not saving any money.
Why?
Because they are still paying the time and place for these individuals as severance packages. I bet you.
Wow.
I'm just bringing it up. The manager resigned, new beginning coming. And we'll talk about that in a moment because that is a very important facet of our government.
Very important.
School committee has abandoned the education in this town. Basically, the school committee has been abducted by the state education department.
I think you're right.
Now, we're hearing from the federal Board of Education or Education Department that they're going to dismantle it because there's no need for it, because it's another layer of bureaucracy onto our education system.
From what I understand, it's just a lot of seats, one big building with all kinds of people that are getting paid to do nothing. That's basically what it comes down to.
Well, they're trying to keep the woke agenda going for the government activists that are in place. So, we need to understand the education superintendent is not only dependent on the funding from our local taxes, but the schools are bought and paid for by the state. Now,
and the unions.
Well, that's the big part of it. But the state, I have 3 large envelopes of education criteria that the state delivers to the towns, and they have to follow through on that. Now, those criteria were given to me by one of the administrators at the high school. And the thing is, I asked the question, what are we doing with all of these administrators that we have in the school system that develop the curriculum? So the curriculum is given in writing to the town by the Department of Education for the state, and then we take that and interpret it by our 6 or 7 curriculum directors that are paid probably $150,000 to $200,000 a year each. So we need to understand what the school system is really all about. So
I think they got to go back to the basics. Honestly, do you know what I'm saying? It seems like they lost their way. I mean, I'm not an intelligent person by any means or whatever, or whatever, but from what I can see, things are just not going the way it should be. People can't give change. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean,
You have common sense.
yes, there's no
So-
more common sense left.
So one of the big items that has not been explored by our superintendent of the school department is, where is the funding for the illegal immigrants' school costs?
They're not going to show you that.
Well, that can't be attained. This has been swept under the rug as usual, as is the practice in Danvers. Each illegal student is funded by special funds from the state.
From what I understand, they get like $125 a day,
Correct.
something to that effect for someone's. They're looking for the money, but I mean, I think it costs them more than that probably to teach them.
Well, no. I have explained this in the past,
Okay.
is that our school department and our school committee has decided not to accept outside students from other communities.
Right? I thought, yeah, I understood that.
Because they had so much room available, but they were reserving that, and now I understand what they were reserving it for. So the Smith School, which is the newest school in town, is one of the schools where the illegal immigrants are being taught in grammar school level.
Okay.
High school has their own, middle school has their own. So the thing is, we have to be transparent. The superintendent does not want to talk about it, and the town manager is they're doing is they're grabbing all the funds that they can get because it has to go through our treasury.
Okay.
So,
But we're not making any money off it. We're actually probably losing money.
well, are we? We don't know that.
We don't know that.
We don't know that. For new funding is being depleted. For now, funding is being depleted from federal and state. Town needs to ask, what do we get for our school funding? That's why I brought up the new town budget, and I have a copy of it that I obtained by coercing the town hall to print me a copy, because I am one of the old timers
Yes.
that doesn't like computers, and I won't look through it. And I have been looking through this computer. I like it, but this is the only way you can understand what this budget is all about. I have this year's budget and last year's budget
Can you compare the
in
two?
detail, and I am going through that.
Can you put it up next to each other and see everything? Because I think they confuse us sometimes. You can't, the items and stuff like
I
that.
don't know yet. I haven't gone into the
Okay. Just
details, but
curious.
I've gone into the large items and the letter that the interim town manager prepared this year. And the thing is, and as you noted, in the last selectmen's meeting, I brought up this issue of $13.47 million of free cash that is bouncing around, and they're looking for a place to put it for the moment because they have plans for it for the future. One of the plans that I believe is going to go to is the new DPW garage.
They're talking about that, but
They're talking about it. They have a location, which is almost in Middleton.
yes, I did hear that.
And the thing is, let's tell it how it is.
Right, but they keep everything under the thing because they have to buy that land from the state, I think.
Well, they do. But the thing is, let's put it on the table for the people that pay their bills to understand what is really going on. But just for giggles, this year's tax collection, the real estate taxes, are at $99 million. They went up from 95 to 99. Well, in 99, it's $3.18 million that the tax levy allowed them to increase. State aid remained pretty stable because the state is running out of money as well.
They're looking to try to figure. They're already trying to give us other taxes.
It's $14.3 million. The local receipts, that's the one that bites us, is $17.6 million, which is an increase from 15.8 to 17.7. So that means that's a $2.5–3 million increase on taxes that we pay. It's meals, excise tax, room tax in the hotels. And the thing is, all the state is doing is giving us permission to increase those.
Right, and that's
because they are running out of money.
Yes, it's
so. Enterprise funds are basically the water, sewer, and electric company, and they're
those are doing good. But they're hitting us on the other end.
They're doing good because all of our residents are paying their bills.
Yes.
And the bills are going up. There's a new fee that's been implemented on the water and sewer division bill.
Yes.
The electric company is increasing their fees because they are afraid to raise the rate that they have been authorized by the Department of Public Utilities. And look what's happening with the DPU. The Department of Public Utilities is being asked to reduce the rates for gas. We have National Grid for gas. I don't know what the bills are, but it's been expanded quite a bit because it's serving all of the new construction that's coming. So what we have is revenue for this current bill is $150.5 million. That's what we receive, and 75 or 80% of it is from real estate taxes. And the other ones are taxes. So all the taxes generate $150 million to be spent by our town government.
I know that. They have their hands into everything, but there's never enough money. I didn't realize this one. My mother-in-law just passed away, and there's a $25 fee, believe it or not, to bury her in Danvers. The town gets $25. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's only $25, but that goes to show you how many fees there are. That's the point I guess I'm getting at.
And you know what? They're going to defend that because $25 buys you the death certificate.
I guess that's
that's probably what it is.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to say, they got their hands into everything, but it's never enough money for them. That's the problem.
That's right. So now, just to wrap up the budget, and I'm not going to go into more detail because there's a scheduled Saturday morning, March 15th, where the selectmen are going to accept the town manager's budget as the select board budget and review it, and they want to do it all in one day.
That's what they've been doing.
And it's a sad state of affairs because one day you can't concentrate on what's going on. And that is a review that takes place very superficially. It's scheduled for the Toomey Room on March 15th at 9 a.m.
Yes.
9 a.m. is the overview, which is the nuts and bolts of the budget. Danvers Public Schools are next. Essex Tech is third. And then information technology, accounting, all of the business related departments.
Essex Tech, that go up a lot, or you don't know this year?
Well, I'll get to that,
Okay,
but
I'm
I'm
just
not
curious,
going
I'm
to get
sorry.
into the much detail.
No, I understand. I do. I'm just
20-minute lunch period.
Oh, okay.
12:25.
You mean they're giving us lunch?
No, they bring in sandwiches for the employees that present. And I guess some of
So
the
if you're there, if
some
you're
of
there,
the public will get
okay,
lunch.
that's not trying to get. Okay.
Fire police are at 12:45.
Oh, okay.
Land use and community services.
Okay.
That's the big department that runs a lot of the
Yes, that
town
one.
activities.
Yes, that one runs a lot.
It's
of
at
towns
1:30.
Okay.
And this is the one that everybody's complaining about because planning is part of this department.
Okay.
And planning has totally screwed up on the MBTA zoning and now on the elderly housing that they permit to be built and make every house in Danvers a two-family house.
I mean, this is getting ridiculous, man. This is getting ridiculous. They're looking for money. That's what it comes down to.
Then at the end is the important part. Employee benefits, human resources, town clerk, management, department heads, town council, legislative, FinCom reserve, and it's for 45 minutes. Now, by the end of the day, everybody is tired of listening to what's going on, but employee benefits has become a large, large item for our town.
That's what we keep hearing. That's where all the money is always needed for that. That's the reason being. That's where they have no more room, basically.
Well,
Keep chewing it up. They got to keep giving it to them. They got to. I don't know what they're giving them for a raise this year, but I mean, come on, things are tough. I think they got to.
this is not the raise. This is the benefits. This is the health insurance. This is the retirement. The retirement is very lucrative
Yeah, that's
in every
one thing that's
town.
good. Yes.
And what they claim is that is because it's public service.
80%, they believe they get. 80% they pay. Isn't that what
Right.
it comes down to? That's pretty
Right.
damn good. I wish
So-
I got that.
I went through this, and I will go through it much more detail, and I am going to get a copy of the school budget, because that's an important one, but that's very superficial because you don't get to the details. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that, and we can discuss that later.
For school committee, how many people run for school committee? Do you know?
Right now, well, let's go into
I'm just
the
curious.
the
I wasn't
elections.
sure exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
What we had last show, which was February 27th,
I believe you're right.
we had Maxwell Brandon Rudin,
Okay.
who is the only candidate that I know of, and he is provided us with the information for his brochure.
Is there only one person that's up?
That's all. And there's one person that's up, and it's Lopez.
Okay.
And he is the chairman of
Right.
the school committee.
Last couple of meetings it wasn't there though. I don't know why.
Well,
not
maybe he's
mistaken.
tired of the job. Look at the
I'm not
last
sure.
two candidates that decided not to run at the last election, and they gave no reason for it. They just got tired of beating their head against the wall with the establishment that's there in the schools. They couldn't do anything about it. And they were very good individuals.
Yes, there was.
And the thing is that now we
We're talking
have
about Arthur's Commerce, I think, right?
no.
Oh.
This is the two ladies.
Oh, okay. Yes, you got
The
it.
two ladies that ran 4 years ago.
When you were in, okay.
When I ran,
okay,
right.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I'm glad that I wasn't involved because that school committee is defunct right
Yeah.
now.
Well, you know what it is? Everybody wants to. They want to go in and make a difference, but you can't. That's the problem. Even me, with a town meeting member, I mean, you want to watch what's going on. You hope to make it better for your community, but it's kind of tough. You get there and it's kind of like a slap in the face. You can't get. You're not going to get what you think you're going to get done.
Well, for the next show, I will bring up any new names for the school committee, but right now, that's all there is.
Okay.
And I have I was able, you can walk in, there's a book, and you can look up every single individual that's running. But I got a application for citizens petition.
Ah,
And citizens petitions require 10 signatures to get onto the warrant, and the Board of Selectmen cannot remove it
Okay.
because it is a citizens petition. I don't know how many I'm going to put in this year, but last year I put in 4.
yes. And they accepted, though.
They were all accepted for the warrant,
Right,
but only 2 were approved by the town meeting.
right.
Now, I should probably write a letter to the town moderator because there is no report back of what actions they took for the town meeting requests. I know that there was a letter sent to the Beverly Airport, but nothing happened.
No, they don't want to do anything. That's why, look, please, it gets swept under the rug. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm starting to see a lot of stuff get swept under
So-
the rug. It's terrible.
The rug is getting thicker and
Yes, it's becoming a mattress.
thicker. All right, so the next position that I want to discuss is Pat Frazier is running for town moderator, which she's run, I think, almost 10 years now.
Yeah, I think so.
And she's been a very good moderator.
Is she opposed? Anybody running against her?
Nobody's
Okay.
running against her. And there's been people that have been asked to run against
Okay.
her, but they refuse.
Okay.
So Pat is pretty fixed in that position, and she does a good job.
No, I'm saying she does
she
a good
does
job.
a good job, except that you and I know that the moderator has
A lot of
a
influence.
lot of authority
Yes.
when she runs the meeting,
Yes.
and she can recognize you or not recognize you,
Yes.
or recognize the 7 people that stand up for a roll call vote,
Right.
and she doesn't recognize them at all. And this is the reason why I proposed in my last town meeting a electronic
I think
system.
that's a perfect idea. We should know what people are voting on, really. We should. I mean, because the reason being is, look, that's how you know if you want someone in office or not. If they're voting for garbage, you want to throw them out.
Well, the thing is, the electronic system would prevent the town moderator from echoing some position or stifling some position.
No, that I agree with, too. But, I mean, what I'm trying to get at is there's a good reason we need that. We definitely need that.
Well, I don't know whether it's going to be proposed again or not, but it should be considered.
It should be considered.
Now, the review committee, the one that Sally Calhoun is
Oh, yes.
operating, with 7 or 8 town meeting members,
Yes.
they've looked at it, but they have not considered it. And maybe what I need to do is submit it again,
Yes.
because
Sounds good. They're listening to a lot of stuff. They're all over the place. I watched a little bit yesterday. Peter Zook was there.
right.
He was there, and there was, for quite a while, he had some good points. I mean, he was an intelligent person, speaking. I mean, he had some real good ideas and stuff like that. But all these ideas, I mean, it's too much. I mean, I'm getting a little bit over. There's too much going on.
Overwhelmed.
Yes, overwhelmed.
Now, Peter Zook goes back to
Yes.
my election back in
Yes.
95. And he was a town moderator at one time.
Do you remember when he won by 1 vote?
Yeah.
Do you know something? The reason he won by 1 vote was my wife's grandfather worked with him. And we went over my mother-in-law's house. The lady just passed away. And he says, "Did you guys go and vote?" He made us go vote, okay? Whoever was there that, had things, he made everybody go vote. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for him, I don't think he would have got it. I don't know, because I'm telling you, that's
Well,
the way it was, because only 1 vote.
Peter was on the brink of it getting
Yes.
lost.
And Peter, as far as I'm concerned, he was a good person. He still is a good person.
He and I worked in Boston.
Okay.
I was at the Stoner Webster organization, which
Okay.
had 7,000 or 8,000
Okay.
people at that time. Peter was at one time, the director for the Big Dig
Yes, yes.
for Bechtel Corporation.
He worked for what do you call it? Construction in Danvers there, I'm trying to think. Pelletier and Millbury. He worked there. That's how my wife's grandfather knew him. He worked there.
Really?
Yeah, he worked there for quite a while.
Well,
He started off.
he's a very good manager.
Yes, he
I've
was.
had lunch with him many times in Boston, and we worked almost, the buildings were next to each other.
And him and Wayne were real good friends too.
Yes.
And he and Marquis were very good
And
friends.
he and John George.
Okay.
John George.
Okay.
Jimmy George was the policeman.
Police officer, and John was the.
And John was the selectman at
Right.
one time. So this goes back. This is the kind of information that Sally should be gathering
And she's gathering.
from the past, and look at some of the stuff that's going on in the future as well. So that's one thing. So that's going on. The next item that I want to talk about is the selectmen's race, 2 positions for 3 years. We have, right now that I know of,
Yes.
is 5 candidates,
Yes, I did hear that.
and Dan Bennett is the incumbent.
Yes.
He's the current chairman. Gardner Trask
I know. My God,
has
please.
put
Oh,
out
my
his,
God.
has asked for signatures, and he is trying to go back into the board.
I think he's already did enough damage to this town. I think he should sit out.
Well, that's for the voters to decide.
Exactly. That is for the voters to decide. But it's just my opinion. That's all. But I'm just being honest. I mean, really. I mean, this town is not going the way we should. We need. This town's a lovely town. It's a beautiful town, but we're losing it.
The other 3 members that have taken out papers is Sandy Franceschini, and she already submitted her papers.
Okay.
Um,
I know she's been going to the
And-
selectmen meetings. I've noticed
and
this today.
Sandy is a former candidate for the state rep office.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
She was running. Bob May was running before that.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
So she's well connected.
Okay.
So hopefully, and she's got her head screwed on tight. Some of them don't.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you know.
So Sandy is one. The second one is Kevin Birch, and he's from Wildwood Road,
Okay.
and he's taken out papers. He has not submitted them back yet.
Okay.
And then we have Michael Baxter.
Okay.
Now, Michael Baxter, taken out papers. He has not resubmitted them or submitted them yet.
Okay.
And he is a Loomis Ave resident.
Okay.
And as I said before, Dan Bennett has taken out papers and submitted them on February 13th.
Okay.
So he had no problem submitting those.
No. Yeah. Well, I remember he was collecting signatures the day of the town meeting. There,
Yes.
You know,
That's right. Yeah.
I signed the papers. I mean, I have no
Oh,
problem with
no. You know what? That is a sign of respect for the individual that wants to put himself out or herself out to an election process that can make it or break it for you. And the thing is that people don't respect that, and I think they deserve a lot of respect for doing that, because they put themselves out. Gardner Trask is taking out papers. I have not seen him return them yet, but he's again, he just got defeated last election. I think it's too early, but that's his decision.
Yeah, that's his decision.
And people will speak. So, I also pulled out a copy of Precinct 7 because I'm interested in that.
Okay. How you doing there? Is there?
Well, no, I'm not doing anything there yet.
Okay.
Lisa Trask is running for town meeting member
In 7?
in 7.
Okay. Was she there in 7 before she moved?
I think she moved, and
Okay.
she's living at Hobart Street.
Okay.
Kathleen Simon, and we know Kathleen.
Yes.
William Oh, that's Billy Clark. Kathleen Simon is running. She lives on Pine Street.
Yes. Her husband's a town meeting member also.
Yes. William Clark is running.
Okay.
He took out papers, but they have not returned him yet.
Okay.
And all it takes
Well, no,
for some incumbents don't need to file papers.
I have mine at home. I'm debating whether I didn't fill it out yet. I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I don't know. It's just
Alan Weeks, incumbent, and he's out of Center Street. That's precinct 8, basically. Richard B. Trask, our friend Richard Trask, is an incumbent, so
Okay.
he's running again.
how's he doing? Is he doing okay?
He's doing fine. I have not checked in with him lately, but I will be doing that very soon
Right.
because I have his documentary that we've developed about the history of Danvers, and what I have is 2 segments done, and I'm working on a 3rd segment, and I've submitted them to Richard for his review because I don't want to say anything in there that's not true or
Right.
irrelevant. Amy Velasquez, that's a new candidate
Okay.
from Holton Street,
Okay.
and Louis Velasquez from Holton Street. They're husband and wife
Okay.
that are running for 2. There's really 6 seats, but what do we have? 2, 4, 6, 7 candidates
Okay.
already. I don't know how this thing is going to work on Velasquez, but sometimes when you have 2 people running from the same family, they don't look
Well, that's true.
favorably on
Yeah.
that.
Well, unless they know a lot of, how it is. It depends on
Yep.
what they know and stuff like that. Just hopefully they
And-
get to make a difference. That's basically the thing,
That's right.
I hope they're getting in for the right reason to try to keep this
That's-
town. We got to stop spending money and try to, pay attention to what's going
Well,
on.
no, we have to spend our money wisely.
Yes, no question in my mind.
And the thing is that sometimes we spend it for no reason at all,
Well, there's no question.
for personal reasons,
Right.
and they don't work. So, the last thing, the other thing that I want to talk about, the budget and the election, is last Tuesday we heard a auditor's report.
Yes, we did. I was there for that meeting. You were also there.
And the auditor's report brought out some very interesting facts in regard to what transpired last year, but the auditor's report has a lot of statistical information. It's probably 100 pages long, and only the first 20 pages are relevant for the financials and what they look at, and the rest of it is information that carries on. So I asked a question at the selectmen's meeting in regards to why do we have such large reserves, not reserves, but free cash that are being carried over year to year. And what I figured out from it is that we overestimate our expenses, and then to accommodate receiving the maximum amount from the 2.5 ability to tax us. So this year they're taxing us increase our real estate taxes by 3.12 million. Last year they left on the table. It's available, but it's available for special projects and capital projects. $13.47 million. The year before, it was $12.5 million. Now, you got to figure this thing out. Where is this money coming from, and why is it such a large amount? Part of it is my personal explanation of the dump project.
Well, that's what they told you. That's where
That's what they told me.
That's what they told you. That's what the money was
However, I am more interested in what was left over from each and every line item on the budget.
for. Well, before it used to be about $6 million a year, wasn't it, more or less?
3.
3?
Used to be 3.
Okay.
Then it started rising every
Okay.
year because they ran out of places to get revenue, so they increased the budgets, and that's a false premise of building a budget by the town management, because the selectmen are letting this happen, but they're letting it happen because of their policy of extracting the maximum amount of taxes from our residents.
I agree with you, I think, to a certain extent, yes. I don't know. It just, all I know is I've lived in this town 47, I was going to be 47 years coming up, more or less. And taxes weren't like they used to be. Now, lately, every time we turn around, you can feel it. And before, you never used to feel it. It used to be gentle. You understand what I'm saying? Now it's like, you feel it.
Well,
especially on 2 families, you feel it even more.
That's right, because that's the policy.
That's what they're going after. They're thinking that the 2 families are not going to complain, okay? But what they're doing is they're ruining this town. They're making everything unaffordable. That's the sad part. If you know what
Okay.
I mean.
So, let's go to our last item, because I don't think we'll go into much more. But before we go into the last item, I'd just like to make an announcement in regard to the Beverly Airport.
Okay.
Commissioners' meeting is scheduled for this coming Monday.
Oh, did you get a...
Yes, I
Okay.
got an
I didn't look at it.
agenda.
Okay.
And I got some pieces of information because I called up the airport manager
Okay.
about the noise level that was happening on, I think it was Wednesday at 12:17, I believe, or 11:17 in the
Yes.
morning. There was a jet flying. He did call me back, but I am tired of making phone calls.
Everybody's tired of making phone calls. That's why they don't call anymore. Everybody's sick of it, okay? You call, nothing really is getting done over there. Right now, lately, the wind has been strong. Like today is wicked strong. No one's flying. Yesterday was beautiful. And we've had a lot of good days, but it's not because they're not flying. It's because they can't because of the weather, okay? That's a plus for us. Because as soon as the weather gets good, man, they're out there making all kinds of noise. And it's sad. You know?
So just for everybody's information, the meeting at the Beverly Airport Commissioners conference room
Okay.
at the east side of
Yes,
the
airport.
Beverly Airport in
Yes.
Beverly,
6 o'clock, right?
6 p.m.
Okay.
And the thing is, the agenda is out, and if anybody's interested in looking at the agenda, there's a very interesting item on there.
Oh, really? What's that? What's the item?
There's a proposal as number 6 on the agenda
Okay.
that asks to consider that the Beverly Airport Commissioners go to a 4 and 5 candidates, 4 from Danvers and 5 from Beverly,
Are you
to
serious?
make it more equitable. So I don't know what the discussion is going to be, but it's a very interesting item on the agenda, and it is being proposed by our representatives that we have, and I don't know whether the new representative has been accepted by the Beverly Council.
Yes, I'm not sure about that.
I'm not
We'll
either.
find out. If
Well,
we're
that-
gonna, hopefully
we're-
we'll find out when we go to the meeting.
What we're going to do is we're going to televise this particular one,
you're
so
gonna
I'll
bring
bring my camera,
Okay.
and we'll share the information with the rest of the audience. So, that's where we're at with the Beverly Airport. And
I like
also, one of the comments I received when I made my phone call to the Beverly Airport
Okay.
is, I don't understand why the MEPA, or Mass Environmental Protection Agency, hasn't approved the hangar project.
I'm
Well,
hoping they found something wrong.
Maybe that's exactly what has happened, and Mass Environmental with the federal environmental are in a convoluted state because Mass Environmental needs to respond to this, and they need to consider everything under the sun. Now, you saw the law that they're going to be, the interpretation of the law, the bureaucratic interpretation, that there's 280 some pages of what this gentleman has to consider when reviewing this application. So we'll keep it in suspense forever if that's what it takes.
Yes.
But, so, that has not been approved or has not been resolved. So we need to...
I'm hoping they don't approve it,
Well,
but who knows?
what we need to do is write a letter to the governor, because the governor has been supportive in these kinds of issues, because Massport is flexing their muscles as well.
But this is not part of Massport over here.
Well, don't
They're
kid
getting the money from Massport, but they don't have their, I don't know. I mean, it's,
Okay,
I know.
we have the last item, and this one we're going to go very quickly,
Go ahead.
is we have a candidates for the new town manager positions.
Oh, yes.
And that was reported by Mr. Lynch, who is the consultant.
Yes.
And I don't know where he's been, but the candidates that they picked are unreal. The candidates were, the applications by the candidates were numbered in 31 applications.
That's what I heard. That's what they heard. That's what I heard at the meeting.
31 applications.
They broke it down to 3.
Well, they broke it down into a 3-meeting selection committee, which is made up of residents and 2 board members,
Okay.
Maureen Bernard and Dan Bennett.
Did they interview all 31? Oh,
No, what they did is
I'm just curious.
on a selection of that length,
Okay.
there's an application process. They evaluated each one of the applications, but they gave them credit for being qualified,
Okay.
residing in the area,
I don't know, man.
having financial expectations and background. So they eliminated
the
30,
process that brought it down to
25 or 27 in the first shot
okay.
because they were not qualified.
So how many did they how many did they
I
actually,
believe there were 3 sessions
Okay. I'm just
of
curious.
the evaluations. One was held at the Danvers Town Managers Conference Room,
Okay.
which did not accommodate anyone except the 5 members
Okay.
and the consultant,
Yeah,
I
it's a
guess.
small room.
And I don't know if the acting town manager was involved or HR was involved. Who knows?
Did he put his name in, or you don't know?
Don't know.
I don't know either. And the reason why I say it, I saw on Facebook that Mr. Hagan was pushing for Rodney to become town manager. I mean, that's why I was wondering if he knew something that we
Rodney
didn't know.
has the qualifications from the financial side, but
Yeah.
I don't know whether he has the qualifications from the political side.
Right. No, I'll be honest with you. He seems like a very nice man. I got to give him that much
Well,
credit.
let's move on
I
because
understand. I know.
because we're down to 6 or 7.
I understand.
And then they had several meetings, 2 meetings,
Okay.
at Xavier Hall at St. John's Prep.
I love that. I'm hoping that the prep accommodated them. It's about time that prep does something for us. At
They
least they're doing more than the airport, anyways. At least.
Well, they probably had to rent the room.
I don't think so. I hope not.
I hope not, too. I'm going to find out.
I don't think so. I hope
So
not.
those sessions were on a Friday and then one on a Saturday. And then at that time, they asked some of the questions that were presented to them in regard to the qualifications And they spoke one-on-one with those individuals, I understand. But now they're down to 3. The 3 were selected were Jill Cahill,
Yes.
and she's currently the CEO of Gloucester since January of 2022.
I heard that, yes.
Previously served as Gloucester Community Development Director.
Okay.
This is Aaron Henry's position.
Oh, okay.
And was Chief of Staff for the State Senate President, Karen Spilka. So you know where that's coming from. Personal interpretation. She is Democrat, connected to the legislative process. She's more political than administrative. That's my opinion, and I'll stick to it.
I understand.
The second one is Sean Fitzgerald.
Yes.
Now, I know
Peabody boy.
I know Sean Fitzgerald from 1998, I believe, or
Okay.
1997. Worked with him with Peter Terigian.
Okay.
He was his assistant.
Okay.
He was a kid out of college at that time.
Okay.
Now he's running for town manager. He's trying to get appointed.
Right.
He is a former Swampscott town administrator for 7 years, stepping down in December.
He's stepping down before he gets the job.
I don't know.
Doesn't sound good.
I read the internet information. There are issues that Sean is carrying into this position,
Otherwise, he's got baggage, is what you're saying.
and he's got baggage on labor relations and communication with the staff.
Okay.
Previously served as Placetown, New Hampshire town administrator, 9 years. Yeah, I know about that.
Okay.
I've been to see him. Peabody Mayor's Office, Chief of Staff for 7 years. That's
Okay.
where I first met him.
With region, okay. The name
And-
was familiar.
MAPC Regional Service Coordinator from 95 to 2001. That's when he was running around with the legislative bodies,
Okay.
and he was working with Terigian as well.
Okay.
The third one that was selected, Patrice Garvin,
Yes.
Belmont Town Administrator for the past 7 years. Formerly Shirley Town Administrator, 2013 to 2018, which is 5 years. And Groton Assistant Town Administrator for 5 years as well, 6
So
years.
she has some good credentials.
Town Administrator and Town Manager, the way we have it set up, is 2 different things.
Okay.
Town Administrator is in Middleton.
Okay.
That's a totally different role.
Oh, really? Okay.
Now, he responds directly to the Board of Selectmen,
All right.
where administrators are not in charge of the entire.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
See, their role is much different. However, this is going to be a public interview process, and it's scheduled for March 12th
Okay.
on Wednesday at 6:30
Oh, I
to
did hear that.
9:30
Yes, and they're going to
p.m.
delay it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I did hear that.
They're going to delay what?
They're going to film. They're going to film it, but they're not going to
yeah.
play afterwards. You know what I'm trying to say? So
And it's at the senior center. I
yeah, I
think.
did hear that.
So, however, today our off-the-street reporter tells me that we have a withdrawal from our selection
God.
already.
Really?
And what it comes down to is that update, select board amends contract, retains Garvin as town administrator. So right off the top, we are no longer in possession of 3 candidates.
Can't they pick another one?
They can do whatever they want. The thing is, whatever they've already chosen, those people are, really slated. I got a feeling that we should probably revert back to square one and select an appropriate town manager. And I think that's a question that should be raised to every single one of our candidates and to our select board members that are on that selection committee.
I would think so, especially right now. That means
Tony, we have 17 minutes.
I know.
Time ran by.
I know it did.
Thank you for being
Oh,
here.
no problem. I
And we'll
love it, man.
continue on this
Yes.
thing because we'll know then what the situation is.
I'm hoping they probably put another one on because we need a good town manager.
That's right. And I don't think we have that yet. Good night, Danvers.